It's interesting. Like I said, I love the sense of the curiosity of white people. It's so adorable to me. You know, they figure out everything. The fact that they're curious. You ever thought about, like, remember when we was younger, we was watching them shows and they'd be like, oh, like them scary shows. They was like, that white person right there, you know, they gonna watch. They going into that room and they don't know what's coming to them. But they love to find out though, because they is so curious. Like, I just find it so interesting because it's just like, it's interesting. Um, I love the idea because it's just like it's interesting. I can't stop saying that because it's just like, okay, so it's basically what they're saying is that it's increasing the melatonin in your body. So if you already have some type of melatonin in your body, everybody has melatonin. It's just the pigmentation of your skin. It's enhancing that. You know, it's working towards that melatonin. Do everybody have melatonin? I'm pretty sure everybody got melatonin. It's just certain levels. Correct me if I'm wrong because I'm thinking out loud right now. But yeah, so the more they take in the drops, the more it's increasing the levels of their melatonin. So if they're bright white, you know, ghost complexion, it's going and it's seeking towards the melatonin. So it's helping that melatonin create a darker color. It's feeding the melatonin inside your body, and it's basically giving you a darker complexion because it's focused more so on the melatonin. You know, so the fact that it's natural and it's drinkable, again, that it's natural, it's naturally causing some type of dark toner. It's naturally causing your skin to get tanner without going under, you know, those tanning booths and stuff like that. That's what I love about it, because it's natural. It's natural. You know, you ain't got to go in that booth and, you know, have that light beaming on your skin for a long time to get a tan. It's naturally doing that for you. So it's just like, obviously, you know, I'm not happy with the way God created me, of course, but at the same time, you know, if you wanted, they're the type of people that got to take control of the situation. You know, I don't like my skin tone. I want a darker skin tone. Hey, why not, you know, be curious and make it happen for me? That's what I'm saying. They got like children mindsets. You know, it's just like they don't grow up. I'm sorry if y'all, I'm just saying, a lot of y'all just don't grow up. Y'all don't mature. Y'all always trying to compete, and y'all always trying to, you know, change something about yourself. You can't really accept yourself for who you are, and I wonder why that is. You know, but at the same time, some of them is just reacting on the curiosity. You know, when we was all younger, that's what I'm saying. When I was younger, what did I do? You know, I used to always look at the ingredients in my makeup, and I'd be like, that's the thing about me. That's why I can't really bash them, because I kind of had that inside me as well. So I know and I understand where they're coming from, because when I was younger, I would go into makeup, I would look at ingredients, and I would just see, you know, sometimes it's to find something cheaper, you know, instead of going with this, I go with that. Sometimes it's just interesting to know what nature can actually do for you. So the fact that nature is doing this for me, it's like, wow, you know, this is, you're just curious about nature. You're a naturalist. In some way you're a green thumb. You know, instead of doing plants, you have this mindset of, you always have like a idea of what you can do next. You know, instead of having that fascination with plants, you have that fascination towards products and ingredients out in nature that can better you, that can help you. You know, like I said, it can also be a health factor. You know, it can help you in a way if you really think about it. If you take in this melatonin and ingredient, you know, I don't know what it's hard to really think bad about the situation because it's nature, it's natural, you know, anything natural. But it's just like, you know, God made us how we are, but at the same time, it's just like Adam, it's like Eve in that garden. They are the Eves in that garden, and they just can't, you know, look at an apple and say, oh yeah, that's just an apple. You know, God told me not to touch this apple. I wouldn't see it as anything different than any apple. I won't pay no mind. It is what it is. But they're like that Eve in that garden that's going and taking that apple because the snake said this apple does something for you. So they're taking that apple and they're biting the apple because they're curious. They're like babies, you know, to the world. They're babies towards the situation, you know. And I used to say that about myself. But that's the thing about evolving and growing up, is that you can really, now you can stand outside the box and see, you know, what you went through, and, you know, think differently about the situation and just really explain the situation for what it is, because I've been there, I've done that, but I've grown up, I've matured, and this is a part of maturing. But at the same time, I can't really, just like guys say, don't, you know, when there's a prick in your own eye, don't point out a prick, what's a prick? The peck in somebody else's eye when you got a peck in your own eye. Because I can sit here and I can see the situation, but at the same time, I can judge the situation, but at the same time, I was in that situation, I had that experience, and there's still something in me that's kind of intrigued and awed, and I'm in awe, and I'm just like, wow, I remember when I was me, And if that moment came back to me, I wouldn't be so quick to say I wouldn't think to do the same thing. So yeah, I don't know. That's what I thought. That's my thoughts and insights about that. Like, comment, subscribe, if I share, and tell me what y'all think about it. Subscribe. I think I said it wrong, but like, comment, subscribe, and notify you at your own free will to show you care. And yeah, what's your thoughts and insight about it? Have y'all had that experience as well, where you was just very curious? That's what I'm saying. We was curious as a child. As children, we're curious. So you're just thinking like, these people are very. When will y'all grow up? But at the same time, you can kind of look at the situation and be like, you can just understand it from a different point of view, or from the same point of view, because it awakens something in you. So it's just like, just took me back to my younger days. Yeah. It's just your inner child trying to have fun. That's all. Okay, so I just thought about it. Is this a problem that will will this hurt the situation later on? Because the question you need to ask before you even ingest these drops is that, why do you get sunburn? You have melatonin, but it's not dark enough. Yet the reason why is because you can't stay in the sun too long. That's why they use sunscreen. So the fact that you are inviting these melatonins into your body when you go into the sun, what reaction will you have afterwards? There's a reason why the sun burns your skin. It's a reason for everything. Y'all gotta stick around to see, actually dig deep into it and see how these women later on, what's the long-term effects. Because I would love to stick around and watch and see the long-term effects of this, because I'm interested now. I want to know what's gonna happen, because like I said, everything happens for a reason. We are here for a reason. There's a reason for us. So we're kind of going against the grain. They're kind of going against the grain on this. The positive thing I can think about is that, okay, so if you taking this melatonin 9 times out of 10, would you have altered something to where now you won't burn in the sun? When you go out in the sun, there's no burning because you have some of that melatonin. What do y'all think? Because this got me stuck right now, because I'm wondering. I'm like, hold on. What? I don't know. Give me y'all insights, because I need help.
They be playing in our faces. To the person watching this right now, go look up drinkable melanin. Drinkable melanin. And then ask yourself, where you think they got that from? Look at the smiles on their faces while they taking it and everything. Just soak it all in. And ask yourself, where you think they got that from, man? How do you